If you're curious about the very small world of electric ukulele, hopefully I'll be able to provide some information that I wish I had had when I was thinking about starting electric ukulele. This is a companion to another video I've made, which is a bit of an introduction to electric ukulele. And so in this video, I'll be taking a look at some of the equipment that I used in that video. And so let's go ahead and start with the ukulele itself. This is a Kala solid-bodied electric ukulele. The thing that seems a bit unique about this is that there are other electric ukuleles than this one, but for the most part, they have metal strings and electromagnetic pickups, and so they seem to me more like sort of toy guitars than like ukuleles that you're supposed to plug in and be electric. I don't play guitar. I've never played guitar, and I wanted something that really did have the look and feel, especially the feel of a ukulele. And to my knowledge, this is really the only thing out there. Uh, Please let me know in the comments if you've seen some other things around or where they can be found. But these have nylon strings and everything, and it feels and looks very much like ukulele. This is the maple version. You can get them in a number of finishes. Of course, with any electric instrument, you are plugging it into some kind of an amplifier. So the amplifier I am using is this here. This is the Yamaha THR5. So despite the word 5 in the model name, it's a 10-watt amplifier. It has two 3-inch speakers. It sits neatly on the desktop. This particular also has a USB out in the back, and that is actually how I record any sound. So I won't be talking and playing at the same time, because when I'm talking, I'm being picked up by this podcast mic here, this Blue Yeti. And when I'm actually playing, I'm using the USB out that comes out of that Yamaha amplifier. Props to Yamaha, right? I mean, if you want a boat motor or a clarinet or a motorcycle or an amplifier, they make some really good stuff and sort of all across the board. And now Yamaha can say they make a ukulele amplifier in addition to everything else. I'm sure they didn't even know they made a ukulele amplifier. Allow me to, spout forth my opinion here for a second about amplifiers. There are performance amplifiers, and then there are amplifiers that you might use in your home that sound good at a reasonable volume. And these kinds of desktop amplifiers, these things with, 10 watts, maybe 20 watts of power, I think 20 watts is overdoing it, frankly, and a couple of small little speakers, they some of them sound very, very good, and they sound good at a reasonable volume. Even things that are marketed as practice amps, these things that have like an 8-inch speaker or a 10-inch speaker and something like 20 or 30 watts of power, in my experience, they're too loud. Right? They really only sound good when you crank them up, and then it's too loud to play just in your house. Most amplifiers that are performance amplifiers are designed to be heard in a band, to be heard over a drum set. If you are trying to practice at home with, say, a 50-watt amplifier, lots of times you're going to be micro tweaking your volume knob between sort of 1 and 1.5, trying to get it, to a comfortable volume, but loud enough that you actually, that it sounds good, because again, most amplifiers do not sound that good when they're almost all the way off. The amp itself is a pretty versatile unit. It has about 5 different amp models. I pretty much only ever use the clean, because I use a pedal board to get most of the sounds I like out of it, and so I don't want the amp necessarily like doing anything with it. This also comes with 4 modulation effects that you can, there's a knob where you can sort of, it's where depending on where the knob is, you've got some chorus or some phaser or some flanger or some tremolo, and they sound pretty decent. They're not very adjustable, but they're there and they sound fine. There's also another knob that does some time-based effects, so there's a delay, there's a reverse delay, which is super cool, and there is a spring reverb and a hall reverb. Again, all that sound pretty good, even though they're not super adjustable. None of those things are foot switch controllable, unfortunately, and so that does limit it a little bit. But again, if you're using it as a pedal platform like I do, none of that matters. I just have it to make my signal louder, and that's pretty much all I use it for, and for the recording out. It also actually has a tap tempo for the delay and reverb, and also has a built-in tuner. So I don't want this to be a full product review or anything like that, but I'll give you a quick rundown of some of the things that this amplifier does, and some of the sounds that are in that box. other video, I use 3 pedals. I use an overdrive, I use a fuzz, and I use a distortion. So the overdrive is the Browne Amplification Carbon X. It's a dual overdrive pedal. Browne Amplification is based in Kansas City. The pedals are made here in Kansas City. I live very near to and I work in Kansas City, and so that's always kind of nice. And as it turns out, all of these pedals have something of a local connection. The fuzz pedal I used is the AU79 Gold Fuzz. It is the Mass Street Music Edition. It's made by Mythos pedals for the Mass Street Music Shop in near downtown Lawrence, Kansas. The distortion pedal is actually the first pedal I ever bought, because that's the whole reason I wanted an electric ukulele, was to use a distortion pedal. What I was looking for was something that sounded like the sort of early 2000s, sort of late 90s kind of, really clipped out, sort of modern distortion. JHS Pedals is also based in Kansas City. Yeah, Mythos and Browne Amplification and JHS, I'm sure they didn't even know they make ukulele pedals, so they can say now, hey, we make a ukulele pedal. So that's a small bit of some of the electric ukulele gear that I use. I wish somebody else out there who plays electric ukulele could, show me in the world what they have, what they use. I'd really love to know. Till next time, this has been Ukulele.